Now let's look at degrees, minutes, and seconds. In most everyday cases, using degrees or partial degrees, which can be represented with decimals, works just fine. However, for things like latitude and longitude on topographic maps, the idea of using a base 60 system dating back to the Babylonians in about 2000 BC is still used. Now we know in a full circle there are 360 degrees. Each one of these degrees is split up into 60 parts, and each part is called a minute. 1 minute is denoted with the number 1 and a mark above it that looks almost like an apostrophe. And we say that that 1 minute is 1/60th of a degree. Therefore, if we manipulate that a little bit, in other words, if we multiply each one of those sides by 60, our 1 minute turns into 60 minutes, and our 1/60th of a degree turns into 1 degree. Now I'm going to use that same idea on the next line for seconds. 1 second is also denoted with the number 1, but this time with 2 tick marks above it. And we say that 1 second is 1/60th of a minute. So using the same idea, I'm going to multiply each side by 60, which turns my 1 second into 60 seconds, and my 1/60th of a minute into 1 minute. Now, based off of this, how many seconds is 1 degree? Well, here's what we know. From up above, we know that 1 degree is 60 minutes, and I know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. If I multiply these two, the minutes in the numerator and the minutes in the denominator cancel out, and I'm left with 1 times 1 degree on top, and on the bottom I'm left with 60 times 60, which is 3,600 seconds. So we find out that 1 degree is equal to 3,600 seconds. Now, is there a connection between the minutes and seconds that we see on a clock and the minutes and seconds that we see for degrees? The answer is somewhat complicated, so the answer is yes and no. And to find out more, you can click here, which is a hyperlink, for a history of where the system originated. All right, so let's take a look at an example. We're going to begin by taking a partial degree and converting it into degrees, minutes, seconds, and then we will reverse that process, and we will start with degrees, minutes, seconds and convert it into decimals. All right, so let me start with the first one. 200.325 degrees is equal to 200 degrees plus this partial degree. So we want to convert that partial degree into minutes and seconds. Now the 200 degrees, there's nothing wrong with that, but the 0.325 degrees I'm going to need to convert. And you'll notice that down here at the bottom I popped up in green are conversions. To convert degrees into minutes, I'm going to use this conversion, and I'm going to multiply this by 60 minutes on the top and 1 degree on the bottom. Now, if you remember things about how you convert, this degree on the top and this degree on the bottom cancel out, and it leaves me with just minutes. Now when I do that, if I use a calculator and I substitute this in, I still have my 200 degrees, but 0.325 times 60 gets me 19.5, and the unit that I'm putting on there is minutes. So I'm happy with the 200 degrees, and I'm happy with the 19 minutes, but I now want to convert the 0.5 minutes into seconds, and so I'm going to use this conversion. So I'm going to multiply by 60 seconds on the top and 1 minute on the bottom. Again, I see that some things cancel the way that I want them to. And I'm left with 200 degrees, 19 minutes. And if I substitute into my calculator 0.5 times 60, I get 30, and the unit that I put on there is seconds. All right, so let me clear that page and let's try example B. In this case, we are given the degrees, minutes, seconds. So let me write that down. And we want to convert that into partial degrees. So I'm fine again with the 37 degrees, but that 28 minutes I need to convert, and I need to convert it into degrees. So once again, I'm going to use this conversion, and I'm going to multiply so that the 60 minutes is on the bottom and the 1 degree is on the top. And when I go to put this into my calculator, of course, those minutes are going to cancel out, leaving me with just degrees. Now I'm going to do this one a little bit different because I want to get this as accurate as possible, and so I'm going to wait to put this into my calculator until the very end. So you're going to see me add, now I'm going to go to the seconds, and I want to multiply that by something that gets rid of the seconds but gets me degrees. And so that conversion is going to be this one that we haven't used yet, but it's going to come in handy here. The 3600 seconds will go on the bottom, and the 1 degree will go on the top, and we'll see that the units will cancel out the way that we want. And so what you're going to see me put into, or what you should put into your calculator, is simply 37 plus 28 over 60. Let me go ahead and write this all out. 37 plus 28 over 60. Now what happened to the 1? Well, I just multiplied the numerator and the denominator, plus 17 over 3600. And all of these are degrees. I'm not going to put the degrees into my calculator, but we know that they are there. And when I hit enter, my calculator gives me 37.47138889. This problem said to round to 4 decimal places if necessary. Oh, and by the way, that is degrees. So I'm going to say that this final answer is approximately 37.4714 degrees, and that's rounded to 4 decimal places.